Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lynissa Hayes, or you may know me as Makers Avenue on Instagram, and today I am coming to you with another art journal flip through. So this is my I have quite a few different types of art journals. I have art journals specifically for like sketchbooks and painting, and then I have other art journals that are more mixed media, and then I have these journals which I call aesthetic art journals. They're basically for collaging and just putting little scraps of papers together that I find on my desk, and sometimes I add paint, and there's like no reason why I do it. It's just a creative exercise that I enjoy, and I can use up my supplies. So this is like my third flip through. This is my third journal that I have completed, and I made this cover for it, and it only has one signature. I find that I work best with, like, I'm not very good about filling journals with a lot of signatures because they get chunky. As you can see, it's just this one and it's already pretty chunky. But I made this cover for it following, I think her name is Shabby Soul on Instagram, but she had a tutorial on her YouTube channel, and I just made this cover with felt and sewing pattern and some Tim Holtz collage paper, and then I found these lace embroidered fabrics from Joann's and just glued it on top, did a little stitching. So it's very simple, but I love the look of it. Then I just tied it with this ribbon, so it's kind of like a traveler's notebook style. Just wanted to show you real quick. I had made it for 2 signatures, but this one is already taking up space. I don't think another one's gonna fit in there. So anyway, let me go ahead and get started. I haven't decorated the outside of this. I probably will later. Sometimes I just like to wait till after I'm done with the journal to actually decorate it. So so far, out of all of my aesthetic journals, this one is so far my favorite. So I don't really have a theme to these. I just kind of go with the flow. This one is a mixture of vintage paper, and the vintage paper is actually from a book, The Greatest Story Ever Told. I haven't actually read it, but it's basically about the story of Jesus, and on this page, and I whited out the words, most of the words, and I left the ones that said Jesus had to force her to look at him, and then it says, I am the resurrection and the life. And so I did a lot of use collage paper, and I can't remember where I got this girl from, but yeah, I just colored her in and collaged it, and then I wrote, I look to you, as a reminder to always look to Christ. And so this some of these aesthetic journal pages, some of them have meaning to them, and some of them I'm just practicing, different collage techniques. So this is, sometimes I come up with the meaning afterwards, and when I'm making these pages, I'm not exactly going in chronological order, so I just kind of go throughout the page. So I think this was actually the first page I did in this book, and a lot of the techniques in here, I started with my planner stickers and then just laid them out. So there's a lot of happy planner stickers because I have a lot of happy planner stickers that I'm trying to use up. I haven't been planning as much as I should have, even before the pandemic. So I'm trying to use them up, and I just used the stickers, laid them out in ways, and then I went on top with paints, doily tissues, some markers, and this sticker from Coco Vision. And then I went on top with scratched some of the paint off and some neo pastels, and this is the result that I got. So I really love this page. It's a fun page. It's a great way. It's great inspiration for me when I need to come up with different ways to use my planner stickers, because I think, you know, the goal for me is to try to use up all my supplies and I have a lot of stickers, so that's one of the techniques I like to use, is to try to use all the stickers that I have. So I love this page as well. I'm also using different happy planner stickers in this. I can't remember, some of these I did a while ago, so I can't remember the exact technique for each and every page, but I know I used some tissue paper from, you know, like a napkin, and from Michael's, and so I glued it on. That's what these florals are. It's a part of a napkin, and then I glued it on, painted it on top with some gesso, but kind of left the florals to show. Then I collaged some vintage paper, some clear stickers, some other stickers from the Happy Planner book. It says, "Where flowers bloom, so does hope." So this is a little collage of stickers, and this is another sticker from Coco's Vision. And also on this page, you'll see I did some doodling. I like doodling different, like, straight lines, and there's some fabric washi tape along with buttons. I felt like that was a nice touch. And usually when I'm doing these spreads, I want the pages to be different, but at the same time to kind of complement each other. So usually I'm working on two pages kind of together. So on this side, it's actually a vellum piece of paper, and then I glued some book paper, and on top I have this same napkin from here, painted it, created some clusters with tissue paper and stickers again, and some more buttons. And this is actually a ribbon and some washi tape, and it says "Bloom with Grace." And then I made this little paper ruffle with vellum. I love making little paper ruffles with different vellum pieces of paper that I have. So here's another page that I did, trying to use up my Felicity Jane ephemera and different die cuts. So there's a lot of Felicity Jane ephemera on this page, and I use a lot of things that are on my desk or things in my stash. So I have some painted papers that I made with the what do you call it, a jelly plate, and then some different painted papers that I cut out with my doily dies, some craft tape, and different embellishments. Then I take some book paper. This is not a vintage, it's not vintage book paper. I know a lot of people use vintage papers, but I kind of like to mix like different modern papers from books that are still kind of new, that have like white space. And then because I just like the, you know, just to give it some obscurity, turn the pages upside down. So this is a torn page here, and I like to add, sometimes I like to add some glitter, you know, paint glitter to it. And on this side I kind of did the same. So this was done with a book, a more recent book, and I took scrapbook paper, stickers, craft tape. Then I used these Felicity Jane puffy stickers and spelled out "Abide." And this Felicity Jane girl, which I just colored in. So it also has some glitter on this page, and I love the clean look of this page. So I really like a lot of these pages in here. So here, this page is, sometimes I like to include myself in my art journaling because, you know, art journaling is an extension of yourself. And this page, not all the time when I'm working on these do I, you know, when I'm looking back, I can't remember exactly how I started the page. I believe I attached some paper from a book and then just painted it with gouache or either acrylic paint. Same with this side. I doodled with some China marker and just scribbled, painted. Then I have some magazine paper, like distress magazine paper, which I will have a tutorial up pretty soon showing how to distress and weather your magazine papers. And then I have this heat embossed doily using Coco and Reno's doily stamps, and a stencil that I tried to cut out on my own, but the paper didn't cut correctly, so I just cut it out and actually included the stencil, and it says "Let Grace Abound." And then I just took a picture of myself and painted the background with gesso and some other papers and made it a little collage cluster. So I love to include myself in my journals. I didn't do it that much in this one, but it's kind of a common theme in some of my journals. And this page is like, this is my favorite page in my journal, but I think I had a hard time figuring out what to do with this page. And so I ended up writing in brush pen. You thought it would be easy, like, you know, sometimes journaling, when I'm in the mood, sometimes it can be very easy, and sometimes when I'm going through it, it's not coming together. And I think this page, even though it's pretty, it was one of those pages where I had a tough time putting it together. This sticker is from Coco's Vision. I have some treat bags with these holographic stars and hearts, and I can't remember if it was I think it was a Martha Stewart bag from Michael's, or either I got it from Daiso, I'm not sure. Then I used scrapbook paper, some stickers, some painted papers, some clusters. Then also I included paint and doodles. And yeah, when you're doing this stuff, when you're art journaling, sometimes you just gotta work on layering. I get a lot of time people tell me that layering is not easy, and I feel like if you think too much about it, yeah, it's not as easy. So a lot of times I'm just putting stuff together saying, oh, this looks good. I try not to spend too much time thinking about it. Like I have to try to make a decision quickly, because if you think too much about it, for me it becomes frustrating and it doesn't turn out as well. So this page, I really, really love the look of this page. It's so soft and so romantic, and I was doing it for a design. This is one of my design team projects. It's a mixture of this green paper is from Prima Marketing, and to kind of subdue the background with scrapbook papers, a good idea is to gesso it, but it's kind of like a light white. It's not like full on opaque white. And so I used some distress magazine paper, some Tim Holtz embellishments. You can't really see here, but it's this little tulle ribbon, and These are images from 88 in clear. This is from like their digital stamps. So this was like a traveling set, and it shows Paris, France, a little taxi from London, I'm thinking. And because I was using these digital stamps, I wanted like a little traveling theme, even though I haven't traveled in a long time, and I definitely have never been to Paris or England. But I since we've been inside, I thought it'd be fun to do a little traveling spread. I don't know exactly where this is, but I saw this image in Origins magazine, and I distressed it and then doodled on top of it with like a white Pascal pen, and then just created this little cluster to make it the focal point. And on this side, this is on a vellum sheet of paper. So the sheet in here was vellum, and I actually put the papers behind the vellum and then doodled on top of it with a China marker or a white pencil. And I love using vellum sheets in my journals because you can see through it. And I have a journal, aesthetic journal, that's exclusively like vellum papers, made with vellum and tracing papers, so that way you can kind of see, you get that translucent frosted look. So once I finish that, I will do a flip through. But yeah, Tim Holtz dies and some more digital stamps from 88 in clear, and I love how this page came out. This one is also, even though it's back to back, I did not do this. This was one of the last pages I did in here. But a lot of these images are also from 88 in clear. I mix it up, and you can kind of see through the designs from the previous page. So the color scheme is kind of similar, but at the same time kind of different. It's more pink. So I took these images are from 88 in clear, and then I have some images from some ephemera from Felicity Jane's studio, along with craft tape that I kind of doodled upon, like with my gel pen, but it beat it up because I should have put gesso, but I still like the look of this. And here's a flower and bird from 88 in clear. This is their digital stamp of a rose, and I colored it in with some Tombow markers, and it says always be you. And then I have a doily with this vintage paper that I got from AliExpress. So yeah, I loved how this page turned out as well. Some of my pages kind of get stuck depending on what I use. So I'm trying to see which pages are supposed to be together. Oh, so this page I didn't do. Since it got stuck, I kind of forgot about it. Maybe I'll go back and do this page. I don't know. Okay, so here is this spread. Now I think this one was this is the latest spread that I did. I took some painted papers that I made for a previous class, along with a tag of gouache paints, some embossed glassine paper, and a journal card from Felicity Jane Studio, and it was just picture perfect. And I'm like, well, I don't want it to just be, that little phrase. So I said picture perfect, and then I just wrote out these words. Says, "It's just a pretty illusion." Sometimes we're all looking at social media and things look so pretty, and I love pretty images. I love going on Instagram to look at pretty images, and I don't think that's a problem. But that's not always realistic, and as long as you know the difference, you should just be aware of that. It's no use to be pressured into trying to make things in your life picture perfect when that's not always the real thing. So that's just a reminder. Sometimes it's just a pretty illusion, and we got to know, what is real and what's not. So on this page, I'm also using some tea stain or coffee stain graph paper. And this is from some Studio Calico packaging, this little strip of color, some painted papers, scrapbook papers. The edges of this holographic sticker is actually from this. I just cut it off. And this is from Pinterest. I was using her as a reference for a class that I was drawing, and I just decided before I threw the references away because I didn't need them, I figured her color outfit went with this page, so I just put her there. And then I did this page. Now this is kind of, I layer these pages together, and this is a vellum, but see, because this page is kind of loud, the vellum naturally kind of quiets it down, which I really love. So, and it's like you could just see a little bit of this background peeking through, so I just tape it like that. This was also a painted page from a different class that I was working on. So just take this clip and just put it together. Now this page was kind of fun to create. This was also done recently. This is actually a stencil that is like a stickable, and it comes in like a roll of tape. Now I'm supposed to use it as a stencil. I didn't. I just kind of made it a big sticker. This is from Felicity Jane journaling card, and I just cut it up. This is an 88 in clear digital stamp and washi tape from AliExpress. It says enjoy today, and then in reminder on this coffee stained graph paper, it says for tomorrow isn't promised. And it's just a reminder that we can't take any day for granted. This is graph paper, and I made these doodles with these Daiso crayons, which I absolutely love. They were like $1.50, and I just love how they work because I can go in and wet them up to make them like watercolors, or I can just use them as a crayon, and they're very opaque and creamy. And so I just took a doily planner sticker and made this cluster with some painted papers and coffee stain papers. And this is from Tim Holtz, this little library card. And this is from a Heidi Swap notepad. And we have this vintage like woman wearing a swimsuit. This is another reference that I use, and I just cut her out and put her there. So that's for that page. And I don't know, something about this page just doesn't feel finished to me, but I don't know what else to really do. I mean, it is finished, but it looks like it's missing something. But it says let the good times roll, and there is a lot of I did a lot of neutrals, but this is kind of a tip in, and it says you're some kind of wonderful. I think I cut that out from a journaling card, and this is like a little collage of some washi tape from AliExpress, and from Little Craft Place, a Tim Holtz ephemera, and then it's just collage of different papers. I just like to collage different papers, so some of this is scrapbook paper, some of it's from Tim Holtz, like these are from Tim Holtz. This is from an old vintage scrapbook, and the rest of this scrapbook paper and vintage papers. But I like this page, but it just feels like something is missing. I tried to add a picture of myself somewhere in here, but it just didn't fit. This page also does not feel finished to me, but I don't know what else to add to it. But it looks nice. It doesn't feel finished. These are some. This is a flower that I drew, and a distress magazine image. Sometimes I have scraps of swatch colors that I do on papers, and I can't remember where I got this girl. I think someone gave it to me. Then this page is a printable. I think it's from the Graphics Fairy, I think. And some American Crafts puffy stickers and some Tim Holtz flower. So I kind of give it this, make it this effect where it looks like it's peeking from the background. And it's just everyday magic, but it doesn't look finished. So here is one of my other favorite spreads in this book. I started, sometimes I don't finish everything the same day. So I started with some Distress magazine and Tim Holtz. I think these is from his wallpaper flowers. And then I took this image. She's a Xerox copy from magazine, some embossed paper. I painted on top with some gouache and some ink. And then I went in with a silver marker to add highlights in this area. And here is a doily stamp from, let me see, Coco and Reno. And this page is on tissue paper. So I paper clipped it again. And it's some of these same elements just carried through on this side with a picture of myself and some acetate sticker from AliExpress, and it just says hello beautiful dreamer, and it's a picture of my profile from an event that we had. So I don't know, this page feels very bright. It wasn't my intention, but it feels very soft and romantic, and which makes sense because I do like, you know, that soft romantic vibe, even though they're, you know, not getting married yet. But I love that soft romantic vibe, so hopefully one day. Anyway, that's a different story. But here we have another team that I basically did for my design team. This is mostly using 88 in clear paper collection. I can't remember the exact name. I know it has something to do with farm, but I can't remember the name of it right now. But it was like their spring farm collection or something like that. So that's the majority of the background is that paper. Then I went over it in some areas with some gesso, and then scratched the paint out before it completely dried. Then splattered it with ink and used glitter. I layered on top of it with a doily, and on this page I have a coffee stain tag, and I used some of the embellishments from the kit, like this bee, this flower, this lemon. This flower right here is actually one that I drew and that I just printed out and cut around it. But I have these flowers saved. It's actually in one of my classes that I did for a workshop. So if you were part of that class, you might have the printable. And I did this. I like to attach ribbon or sometimes different fabrics to my journal. So I love the textures that all these different elements create. So when you're working in your journals, try to include different elements, different textures. You know, sometimes the best part is just filling it, and that's one of the reasons why my journals get so chunky and only have room for one. So hold on just a second. So for this spread, my goal was to do a monochromatic. So I was trying to make it mostly pink, all pink, and I think I stuck to that pretty well. The basis was I started it with like pink stickers. So most of the stickers are kind of covered up in the end, but I started off with pink washi tape. There's some other pink stickers that you can't really see, and then I went on top of it with white paint in some of those same areas where I put the stickers. And you'll probably think, well, what's the point of that? But that's what building layers is about. Sometimes when you're building layers, you cover stuff, and that's kind of the point. But it builds a history. It builds a texture in your pages. So when you're building layers in your journal or in your art or in whatever you're doing, don't be afraid to cover stuff up. And put it down, and don't be afraid of letting it completely be hidden, because it can still add to the piece. So I took different pieces of scrapbook ephemera. I know it's probably from Maggie Holmes, but then I took these printables from Planning Janai. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce her name, but of course she has a Patreon, and I had signed up for that month, and a lot of these are the images from there, and like this, I think they're all from her printables. Took some copper foil tape and some elements, and as you can see, I just collaged. And here is another ribbon that I did. It's just a leftover piece from a journal cover that I made. And here, I believe this is the last page, which is great because I end up talking a lot through these flip throughs, which is not really intended. But yeah, this is the last page. I just really took a lot of different scraps that I had laying around. I love this gridded post-it note that I have, so I use it a lot. I just tear it up and paste it, and then in some areas I add paint. This is some all heart scrapbook paper. I love that collection, but it was too loud, so I needed to subdue it, make it more subtle by adding gesso, white paint. And then it says, I have this quote: "To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist, and that is all." Coming from Oscar Wilde. Then I took this glitter fabric and this camera, since I do like photography. I haven't been doing it as much, but I do love photography. And on this side, it's kind of showing that photography. I had these film strips that I got from AliExpress. This old black and white photo. This is also some paper from the All Heart collection, and I had a leftover piece from one of the other pages, so I just added it here. And this picture, this washi tape picture from AliExpress, and then I just colored around it with a gold marker that I love. And this says "To You," which this whole journal is really just to me. And even though not all the pages have meanings, it's just something for my mind to do. It's a creative outlet, and ultimately I just love looking back on these pages, and I love the beauty that you can create from can create in these different art journals. So I feel like art journal, you don't have to have a reason. So people may ask, well, why do you do this? Like, do you have to have a reason for everything you do? And I don't think so. Sometimes the reason is just to create. Sometimes it's just to create beautiful things. It doesn't have to be beautiful, but these aesthetic journals, for me, I feel like I do try to create something that's aesthetically pleasing to me, and it helps me to realize my style. So yeah, so this is the third one. It's finished, and I have a couple of these that are just ready to be filled up. So I hope you enjoyed this journal flip through. I will be having more tutorials, more processes, and hopefully more flip throughs coming in the future. You know, I'm trying to get faster about putting them out, but I'm kind of sharing my video camera with, it's my mom's phone, so I kind of have to work around her schedule. But yeah, I hope you like it. If you have any questions about what I use or my process, feel free to comment, like, share, and subscribe, and I really appreciate it. And I hope this inspires you to create your own aesthetic journals and, you know, your own moments of creative beauty and art. So thank you for joining me. Have a nice day. Bye.